if I didn't already say it to you. We are starting a new series with youth called Tell Me You're a Christian Without Telling Me You're a Christian. Maybe you've seen this on TikTok.
Tell me you're vegan without telling me you're vegan. I'll start.
Maybe for me it might be like, tell me you're a dad without telling me you're a dad. And then you look inside my vehicle and you see a bunch of kids' junk all over the place. Or maybe today I have a basketball in my hand. I've got my basketball sweater on. As most of you know, I'm a basketball coach. If you see me on a bench with a basketball team wearing a basketball sweater and I'm like way older than everyone else, maybe that's how I tell you I'm a basketball coach without telling you I'm a basketball coach. So there's a couple of cliche sort of sayings that we're going to use as we go throughout this time. One of them is this: pictures are worth 1,000 words. So that kind of means that, you know, pictures sort of encapsulate and tell you so much more information than me trying to explain about something. For the next 3 weeks, as we look at Tell Me You're a Christian Without Telling Me You're a Christian, we're going to be studying 3 different aspects of that. We're going to talk about actions, we're going to talk about attitudes, we're going to talk about ambitions. There's another cliche that I wanted to talk to you about today, and it's this, that actions speak louder than words. Do you know that your actions are on display for everyone to see, like all the time? Lots of times we don't want to think about that because we don't want to maybe, be accountable for what we're saying, or maybe we don't want to be recognized, but our actions, they speak louder than words. There's this really cool meme or word picture that we found online that says this: I don't trust words, I trust actions. Meaning, don't just tell me about what you're going to do. Even with our relationship with God, don't tell me how good God is. God, show me how good you are. And you know what? In my life, God has been so faithful to show me over and over and over how good He is. Today, we're going to study this guy from history. His name was Saint Francis of Assisi. He grew up in Italy. He was kind of a wild child. He was spoiled by his parents. His parents really cared about him. But do you know sometimes kids, they get so cared about by their parents that they get kind of spoiled? Well, that was kind of St. Francis's story. He grew up in a wealthy family, and he started to just realize his life was not complete. He had this really awesome conversion story. So he kind of had everything going for him. He had health, he had wealth, he had friends, he even had some girlfriends, stuff like that. But all of it was leading to him not being super satisfied with his life. He wasn't super happy. Sometimes when we have everything in life sort of handed to us, it doesn't actually lead us to a place of happiness or joy. It leads us to a place where we feel real empty inside because we all have a God-shaped hole inside of us. So that's kind of what St. Francis was going through. A little later on in his life, I think when he was around 20, he was actually a prisoner of war, and he was in really, really harsh conditions in this prison camp, and it started to help him to think about life in a different way. It started to be kind of a turning point in his life. Then a little bit later on in his life, he had a dream and some visions from God. And God kind of revealed himself to St. Francis, and he became real to him, and he started to follow God sort of wholeheartedly. So this is what St. Francis looked like when he started to follow God wholeheartedly. He actually gave away all his possessions. and he lived amongst the poor. He lived to serve God, to serve the poor people and the needy people in the world. He just would travel around looking for people that he could bless and encourage, looking for people that he could kind of look after. Man, tell me you're a Christian without telling me you're a Christian. And so St. Francis had this really, really cool quote. And this is going to be kind of a pivotal quote for us for our study the next 3 weeks. And the quote goes like this: "Preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words." So in other words, tell me you're a Christian without telling me you're a Christian. And so over the next 3 weeks, as we look into this a little bit more, we're going to be studying our actions, attitudes, and ambitions, as I talked about earlier. And it's going to show us that we really do affect the world around us. This is going to be kind of one of the central passages that we study. It says this in James 2. "What good is it, dear brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, but don't show it by your actions? Can that kind of faith save anyone? Suppose you see a brother or a sister who has no food or clothing, and you say, 'Goodbye, have a good day, stay warm, and eat well,' but you don't give that person any food or clothing. What good does it do them? So you see, faith by itself is nothing, unless it produces good deeds. It is dead and useless. Now someone may argue, some people have faith, others have good deeds. But I say, how can you show me your faith if you don't have good deeds? I will show you my faith by my good deeds. So preach the gospel continually, use words when necessary." So in other words, just to summarize James 2 for us real quick, it means this: faith without works is no faith at all. In other words, you gotta walk the talk that you're saying. Hey youth, I am so excited that for the next 3 weeks, we're gonna be able to study this, and we're gonna study our actions, our attitudes, and our ambitions. I really think that this is gonna be real pivotal, as long as you just take it serious and take it to heart. We're gonna have some scripture that you can memorize, and some different ways that you can really start to invest in this study. We're going to hopefully have some questions that you guys can do at home on your own, and kind of just study, how we can start to tell the world around us that we are Christians without telling them that we're Christians. Okay, I hope you guys are doing well. God bless you.